Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing. Search for them on Facebook. The historic Lancaster Motel for the ultimate Eastern trail riding adventure. Crane's Snowmobile Museum at 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. If you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be your advertising message. Good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. I have a robust lineup of vintage snowmobile entertainment on tap for you tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, if this is your first time stopping by to visit with us tonight, I hope you have a good time with us and decide to come back here each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This podcast simulcasts to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this, just circle back in 1 week's time and we'll be here waiting for you. Now, to our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you guys are the ones who make this possible, and we very, very much appreciate that. We do have comments coming in. Let's take some comments, and then we'll bring our guests on. We've got Scott Terry saying hello from New Hampshire. How you doing, Scott? Regular viewers, Stacy and Art Fosler say, sounds good from Platkill, New York. And these guys are regular viewers as well. They've been with us pretty much since the beginning. Reese Fleury, regular viewer, says, can hear us loud and clear. Regular viewer from Tupper Lake, New York. Our good friend David from Alaska Railroad says, good evening. Sounds great. Good to hear from you. Also, someone out in Minnesota saying we sound good. Dominic Anthony Kane from Michigan says all sounds and looks good. David Lowry says, coming through loud and clear, repeat viewer from Alberta, Canada. Cole Larson says, sounds good here in Chatham, Michigan. And one more, and then we'll bring our guests on. Spencer DeLubrier, regular viewer, loud and clear from Ham Lake, Minnesota. And Spencer, your DVD is on its way. I mailed it out just the other day, so you should be seeing that very soon. Wonderful. So we've got a full house here in the way of viewers. Let's bring our Oh, whoop. Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. Okay, and turn the microphones on. For a second there, Ray, I thought I removed you from the podcast, and I just about had a bird.
I'm here.
Cool deal. Good to see you. My computer's playing tricks on me here. But yes, good to see everyone. How are we all doing tonight?
Good, Mike.
Doing good, Mike.
Good. Cool deal. How are we doing as far as snow? I know there's all sort of forecast in the way of snow. Rob, what are you getting out there for snow?
We got a foot of snow here now.
A foot of snow.
Yep. 3 days ago, I had my grass showing. Not even a snowbank at the end of the driveway. Now we got a foot.
Wow.
And it was times for the belt to break on the snowblower.
Of course. Murphy's Law, right?
Yep.
And I'm just trying to rearrange this here for... And Ray, how are you doing as far as snow?
Well, we didn't get the snow Rob got last night, but we've got a good fair share of snow. Trails are in pretty good shape. South of Pittsburg, they're getting a little thin, but in around town. But the main trails, we've done a lot of riding this year. Like I was talking to you earlier, I've done probably about 1,500 miles myself on the trails up here this year, and 90% of the time, just flat, good hard trails. It was beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Cool deal. And while we're talking to Ray is here for a specific reason. He's got an event that he's working on, not this weekend, but the weekend after, March 4th. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so March 4th, this will be our third annual. It's the great Northwoods Vintage Snowmobile Ride. It's approximately a 30-mile ride through the beautiful trails of Pittsburg, New Hampshire. We have some of the best trails in North America. I think the last time I looked, we were in the top 10 in North America for destinations for snowmobiles for trail riding. We're having a cookout at the end, and it's all free. You don't have to register your sleds if you stay on the marked trail. We have the permit through the state to allow everybody to come in. We're not telling anybody that comes in with a new sled that they can't do it. I think those people get more excited than some of the people on the vintage sleds when they pull into where the cookout is and they see a couple hundred vintage sleds sitting there and they just think, what the heck just happened to me? You know, where did I end up? And that's what really makes it is seeing the faces, listening to the stories of yesteryear, you know, when people were talking about when their parents used to take them out on these sleds, go out and have cookouts beside the trail. And that's what this is kind of all about. So it's going to be March 4th from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock. The cookout's going to be from noon until 2 o'clock. This year we're doing it a little bit different. You don't have to all start at 9 o'clock in the morning. We know some people want to stop at every intersection and stop and talk. That's what they did before. You know, they'd stop every so often. There's a few people that just want to rip around it and get back, and everybody's got something a little bit different they want to do. So we're going to allow them to leave at 9, 10, 11 o'clock, whatever they want to do, knowing the cookouts from 12 to 2, and they can do their thing and just end up back at the cookout. And I think it's going to make for a great time.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen so people can have some information. And the really important thing on the very bottom there is Ray's phone number. So if you have any questions, logistical questions, if you're thinking about going, that's the way to get a hold of Ray. And we've also got some footage from the event, the first annual event they did from 2 years ago. Let me see if I can pull that up here. Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Awesome.
It's taking a minute to load here. This is when we need that Jeopardy music. Bum, 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 bum. I should find a clip of that for these very moments. Here we go. I think it's going to load. that looks like an awful lot of fun, I have to say.
It was great. I mean, that day you couldn't ask for a better day. It got down to about, I don't know, 7 below that night, and it was 50 degrees at the cookout.
Wow.
Not an ounce of wind. It was just the most beautiful day in the world. And the stories that were going on, I think you could see with the groups of people, everybody sitting around talking and enjoying themselves. The biggest thing with that one was people that pulled in that didn't know about the ride on the new sleds, like we talked about earlier. And they took the helmets off and their eyes looked like pie plates. They were just so excited to see all these old sleds. And a lot of people came up and said, we're going out to buy a vintage sled for next year just for this ride. So, nice. and it happened, and we're looking forward to seeing even more new people this year.
Nice. Ray, is it open for the public and come watch too?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we had that too. Absolutely good question. Yeah, people can come and watch it. They can. There's a couple of spots.
They can stay for the cookout too.
They can stay for the cookout. It's free. The cookout's free. Donations only. Yeah, we're not telling anybody they have to be registered for it. They can come in and enjoy the ride, enjoy the company. We're going to have a little campfire where the cookout is, if people want to, bring marshmallows or whatever and cook and do whatever they want to do. So yeah, anybody can come and watch it. Anybody can come film it. They can do whatever they want and enjoy themselves. That's what this is all about. That's what this event is all about, is to bring the people together. And it's a fundraiser also for our town, for the Pittsburg Firemen's Association, who, they do some wonderful, wonderful things for everybody in this town if they're in need. So great cause. It's a great event to promote it. Just looking forward to seeing everybody and seeing new faces. That's the big thing about this ride. Yeah.
It's a nice thing too about being the 3rd annual. Word has kind of gotten out now.
Yeah,
there's something going on in Pittsburgh and people are looking forward to it. And yeah, I would imagine there's probably as many people, if not more, than what we were looking at in that clip there.
Yeah. I mean, last year the weather played havoc with us. We didn't know the week before we were going to have it. We were expecting probably 300 or more sleds last year. We had about 150, but we had a lot of freezing rain. We got the snow up here, 1.5 feet of wet, heavy snow, but 20 miles south of us, it was freezing rain. So, I could not blame people for not wanting to travel up in that stuff. This year, the way the weather looks, it looks like it's going to be good. Looks like it's, the long range forecast says it's going to be in the low 30s that day, which should make for a great day.
Wonderful. Now, we do have comments coming in. Our mutual friend Reese Fleury says he may have to do that ride next year, and we will look forward to meeting you over there.
Awesome. That's what this is all about, to get this out to everybody.
Tell them to get there this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can, Reese. Absolutely.
I can give you directions.
Nice.
And wear your shirt.
There you go.
His Amsoil shirt. It should be on his way.
Yeah, we sent him a shirt last week.
Yes. Yeah. And then Cole Larson is saying to Reese Fleury, looks like a good turnout. And then David from Alaska Railroad says, looks like fun, Ray. If only I was closer.
Cool well, deal. You just have to take a couple of weeks off.
There we go. Yes. Gary Haynes from Bradford, PA says hello. And Reese Fleury says, sadly, he has to work that weekend. And then, and Reese Fleury also says, thank you to Rob for the Amsoil shirt that's coming his way. Oh, and one more here. Scott Terry says, I would love to go up for that ride this year. He's got a 76 Rupp Nitro 440. Yeah. That would turn some heads if he showed up.
That would turn some heads. And I know Armin would be right there, right on top of that, looking at that sled. Armin Budo.
And Ray Parento as well.
Yes. Yeah. I think Ray's going to be there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And Mark Bristol as well. I think he's a mutual friend of ours, Mark Bristol.
Yeah, Mark's a mutual friend of mine.
In fact, we'll be looking at some comments from him a little later in the podcast.
Yeah.
But cool deal. So we've got another clip. Let me get the menu going. We're on item number 2. This is some footage from last year's event. Now, this is when we had all that snow you were talking about, difficult travel conditions. And actually, before we look at that, I wanted to give a shout out to a mutual friend to all three of us. This is our good friend, Midge Rosebrook. He's the founder of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. And this is him last year at that event. And we also put him as the poster child, if you will, for the banner, for the announcement banner. I showed that to him this morning. He got a kick out of that. So that was cool.
Midge is a great guy. I've been, Midge has known me since I was 4 or 5 years old. And he's worked on when I raced back in the late 70s. He did all the wrenching on my sled, and just a wonderful person. A great person, a great wealth of knowledge about this sport.
History, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
an encyclopedia of racing history for the East.
What would he be driving there? Will he bring that Polaris?
He's hoping to get up here. He's the one person that was going to come up that was bringing his sled can't. He has another person lined up. I'm almost, if he can't get anybody, I might go down and get him.
Nice. There we go.
He means a lot to me too, and I'd really like to have him at this ride.
It would be really fun to have him there.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, cool. So let's take a look at some footage. This is from last year's event when you get all that wet snow. Let's take a look.
Because they're not going to eat till they come back, right?
Say hello. Vintage Race 2022.
Yeah,
baby.
I don't know.
And then we're going to follow behind all of them.
Yeah, so if you're just joining us, we're looking at some really cool footage from last year's Vintage Snowmobile Ride in Pittsburg, New Hampshire. And our guest tonight, Ray Lacasse, is the organizer of that event. He organized it last year as well as the year before. And guess what? 2 weeks' time, March 4th, he's doing another one. And
It's
we're here
here.
tonight to talk it up. It's
It's
that magical
here.
time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crept up on us fast, and we're getting excited for it. And I'm excited that you're going to be there, Mike. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I know how much you love this stuff too, and it's going to be great to have you there for this event.
For sure. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, it'd be nice to finally meet you in person too, because we've been friends now for several years.
Yeah.
And to finally meet in person is going to be a real treat. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, and to know that you've known my family for a long time too. I mean, you're good friends with my uncle for a long time.
Back in the 70s, yeah.
It's a small world how you bump into people and you talk for a few minutes and it just shrinks.
And Ray, are you arranging for him to ride in the caboose, go around the ride?
I could arrange for that.
I would take you up on that.
Bundle them up in some bubble wrap. But
I could be back there with the camera.
There was 3 of them on the road. That Yamaha scooter.
Yeah,
I know they can't make 30 miles on a tank of gas.
I'm sure there was a couple of them pulling sleds. They probably had some gas cans in the back.
They would have to. They look like they were having a lot of fun.
And everybody did again, and even for the weather, the diehard snowmobilers, they didn't care about the weather, back in the day. They just went out and did it. And that's what's cool about it is seeing all these people come out. You see a sled being pulled once in a while. And if you didn't see that, it wouldn't be normal, because back in the day, you worked on them for 5 days a week and hopefully you could ride them for 2.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. Now we got comments aplenty coming in here. Let's see what we got here. Now this is Reese Fleury commenting on this last clip, saying it was awesome. Cool deal. And then another person on Facebook saying it looks like a great ride, and that it is. Robert Osborne says very cool. Gary Haynes says 10-hour drive, but don't count me out. Cool.
Wow. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Man, come look me up if you come. We'll give you something for that.
Absolutely. And me as well, Gary. If you end up coming up, be sure and say hello to both Ray and I. Absolutely. And then Reese Fleury is saying good evening to Robert Osborne. Very cool. That's the thing I like about this too. This podcast is turning into a way to kind of facilitate a community for the vintage snowmobile scene, I guess. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and we can't thank you enough for that, Mike. I mean, you've got this going, and you've invited me on since the first ride, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy being on this with you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that, and it's fun having you on. Yeah, it's the cool thing too. I've made so many cool friends doing this, and you're a prime example of that. All these years, and yeah, very cool, very cool. So we are on item number 3. We're going to do some announcements. Rob's going to talk to us about AMSOIL here in just a moment, and then I've also got some updates and information about events past, present, and future. Let's put Rob full screen here, and he's going to talk to us about AMSOIL.
Okay, AMSOIL is 100% synthetic oil. It's man-made, and by using 100% synthetic oil, if you run it in your car, it'll pour at 60 below zero. Lately, we're going to have temperatures like that, I think. But in the summertime, that same oil will run 20 to 50 degrees cooler because of less friction, less drag. By cutting down the friction and drag, makes the engines last 2 to 3 times longer. So with less friction, less drag, you get better gas mileage. A lot of times here, we promote our 2-cycle oil, but even our car oil, our 5W30 or 520 use your car, will save you money. AMSOIL's a long life oil. Cuts down friction drag so the engines last longer, and you get more benefits out of your engine by having it last longer. We have a complete line of every lubricant you can think of, right from hydraulic oil. We even got a gun oil available, compressor oils, rotary oils, greases, gear lubes. But we have a deal where anybody can become a preferred customer for $10. It's like a Costco membership. You can buy directly from AMSOIL. Mike had a customer last week that signed up. He saved $50 on his first order and had it shipped right to his house free. Anybody that orders more than $100 worth gets free shipping right to their house. Costs you $10 for a membership. You save 25% on all the products you buy. If you buy $100 worth, they give you a $5 credit. And on your birthday, they give you another $5 credit. In 6 months' time, it costs you $20 to renew. If you put 3 orders in, plus your birthday comes up, there's your $20 pay for your renewal. And it's the best possible way to buy AMSO. You're buying it directly from AMSO, and it's shipped right to your house, and you get a great discount on it all.
Yeah, for sure. It's a wonderful value. And like you said, that gentleman who ordered for me last week, he saved 5 times his $10 investment on that first order. And that is the key, is click the preferred customer program before you start browsing to order things, so that way anything that you add to your cart will come up at that deepest level of discount. And there's a link to the preferred customer program right in the description of this video. So click on that if you're curious, and click the link to become a preferred customer, and then start shopping from there, and it'll give you access to all of those incredible discounts. And cool. Now we've got a few other announcements to make here. Let me find these. Now, some events coming up. This is a Tug Hill event, February 25th, this coming weekend. Tug Hill, New York, starts at 9 a.m., awards at 2 p.m. And this is being put on by our good friend Ed Stab, which we're gonna have a little bit more about him here in a moment. Also, this is for next year, but they've got the banner for it already, so we're going to promote it. January 26th and 27th of 2024, the 2024 Midwest Ride-In in Elk River, Minnesota. They're going to have a theme back to the 80s. So that's a show very much worth checking out. Also, April 1st, the Shoemaker Mountain Climbers Annual Swap Meet. New, used, vintage, ATVs, motorcycles, bikes, and of course, snowmobiles, modern and vintage. So that's a cool show to check out. Little Falls, New York. Now, there's also an update I wanted to tell you about. We've been talking about our friends. Josh Leverker has been on, and we were going to have him on, but something came up, so we didn't have a chance to promote this. But he's involved with the Whiskey Jacks Snowmobile Show that happened this past weekend. Now, he shared some images with me and some details, as did their friend Jeff. Oh, let me pull it up here. Having a senior moment here. Jeff Mower. Now, we're going to look at some images where he got first place for his Larson sled and his Polaris TC, and then Ed Stab got some first place awards and People Choice Awards as well. Let's take a look at these. This is Ed Stab's Snow Row. He had this at Lancaster a couple of weeks ago. I'd never seen one of these before, a Snow Row. It's got to be very rare. And this image came, of course, from Jeffrey Mower. This is one of Ed Stab's sleds, 1964 Scorpion. This is Ed Stab's Grand Prix. That won first place too, I believe. Let me look. The Grand Prix won People's Choice. My apologies. Also, the Larson and the TC. These belong to Jeff Mower. This is Ed Stab's Transky. I believe that won People's Choice as well. And Ed was a winner that day, not just with trophies, but check this out. He won the raffle. He won a kitty cat. And that's Ed Stab standing next to it. And he's a great guy. That name may be familiar to you. He has been involved many years with the Boonville races, organizing those events, as well as events in upstate New York. Very busy guy. So, yeah, those are the announcements. Let me find my place here. We're on item number 4. We're going to take a look at some footage from Jeff Wesner. This is some footage he sent me from the Vintage Snowmobile Show in Ripon, Wisconsin. Let me cue that up here, and we'll take a look at that.
Hi, this is Jeff with Snow Tracks. I'm up at Ripon, Wisconsin at Tiger's Brew, and they got a small vintage show going on today. Ran into Tom, who's a big Skidoo BRP person, and he's got a lot of vintage stuff. So, Tom, first thing I ask you, when did you get into snowmobiling?
Oh, we had our first one when I was 12 years old, a Sears Snow Cruiser. It was actually made by Scorpion back then. That was in 1968, I believe.
So how many sleds did you bring here today?
I just brought 2 of my 13 that I have.
Okay, 2 of the 13. I know you used to race. What did you have for vintage racers?
My vintage races are, I have a pair of 71 TNTs. I have one that's over $2,000 in the motor. It's Nip and Denso ignition on one side and the Comet 102 clutch on the other side. That one's putting out 42 horse on the dyno. And my other one's a Pure Stock 71, 340 fan cooled, the same as the race one.
Super.
both of them I raced Eagle River. I got a collection of 5 Eagle River chickens. So.
Okay, sounds good. So tell me about this free air, a little bit about it, what its
This
year
one I
is.
picked up, I don't know, about 15 years ago, and I just finally got it running. I couldn't find a throttle cable for it, so I had plenty of Mikuni carbs and cables, so I switched it over to Mikuni. It's a little easier to jet.
Yeah, that seems to be the popular way of doing with the vintage restores.
But we're not done with it. Probably end up going through the hood on it. And a few other things make her look a little more new.
Yeah, so thank you to Jeff Wesner for that awesome footage. See anything you like there, gentlemen?
Oh, a lot of good stuff there. A lot of good stuff. A couple of sleds that I didn't even recognize.
Yeah, there was.
You know,
I'd have to pick the Arctic Cat because it had an Amsoil decal on it.
there you go.
Good call. I was hoping you'd see that.
You know what I like to see sometimes? I like to have a judge come on sometimes. Because how does a judge, like, aren't some of them in 2 or 3 different classes, the snowmobiles?
Quite possible, yeah.
And what's the judge really look for when he's judging them? Like, all of them look such great shape.
For sure. And it's funny that you picked up on that, and I'll tell you why. I made a screenshot of that. I was hoping you'd see that as we went by. There's the LT Gray. Right below the LT Gray logo is an Amsoil sticker. And I blew it up even more, but it got blurry, but you can see it.
Yeah.
And then as far as the sled that you weren't sure about, I wasn't sure about one either. So I made a screenshot of that. Was this the mystery sled for you guys too? Or?
That's one of them.
Isn't that a Scorpion?
I don't know.
I'm not 100% certain either.
Yeah, if anyone viewing this has an idea of what this could be, we would love to hear what you guys think this could be. And while we're waiting for comments to come in on that, I have to also make sure and give a shout out to Jeff Wesner because he has a couple of amazing Facebook pages as well as a website that we've got to talk about. He's got the Snow Tracks Facebook page, link to it in the description. Also, Do Talk, a Facebook page and a website. A lot of people have been on the dotalk.com website. It's been around for quite a while. He does that as well as the Facebook page. Both excellent. Very much worth a look. Links in the description. And we've got comments coming in. Let's see if anyone can tell us what this mystery sled is. Where lost my spot here. Okay, so this was going back to when people were when Reese said hello to Robert Osborne. Now Robert is saying hi back to him. And sorry, I'm clicking around here trying to get where I need to be. So that's cool to see the hellos going back and forth. Also, Armin Buto from Pittsburgh, one of Ray's neighbors. He's on, and he says, thank you for the help in promoting the Vintage Ride on the 4th. Armin is involved with that as well.
Yeah, he is. Armin's been a great help to me. And part of when we have the meetings, I just love sitting and listening to some of his stories. You know, he's been around it for a long time, and there's some great stories that go along with it.
For sure. He's got some excellent stories.
Takes a lot of volunteers to put on an event, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
For sure. Okay, now here's a question about AMSOIL. If you're Canadian, does AMSOIL ship from Canada or the States?
We have 2 product centers in Canada.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and we have a separate catalog for the Canadian people because it's different price.
Sure. Good answer.
So our dollar's only worth half of yours.
Sure. And then Reese Fleury says, congratulations to Ed and Jeff as regarding the prizes from that other show we were talking about. Stacy and Art Fosler says the Rump means Rupp. The Rupp 72 Nitro was nice. Had one, should have never let it go. And then here's some comments on that mystery sled. Reese Fleury believes it's a Boland's. I'm getting a few people saying Boland's. Let's see what else we've got here. Matthew Vincent Bremen says that's a Boland's Super Sprint multicolored. Cool deal. Someone else thinks it could be a Boski. What's that?
They're saying that's the factory colors?
Must be. I've never seen anything like that, but
No.
It says, yeah, the Boland Super Sprint multicolored. I don't know if that came like that from the factory or another Facebook user is saying Boland's. Glenn Ford is saying Boland's. I met Glenn over at upstate New York last summer. Matthew Vincent Bremen says the 3 yellow stripes, the red machine. Yeah. Okay. John Spranger Jr., a good friend of mine, says Boland's. And Roger Cormier says that red sled is a Boland's. Cool deal. I absolutely love that, having this sense of community here where we can put a question or a comment out, get immediate feedback, get a conversation going with everybody. The interactivity of this, to me, is really exciting. I really enjoy that.
Yep.
Cool deal. Any comments before we move on to the next item? Or?
No.
I'm just looking it up on Facebook.
Oh, yes. Cool. Okay, let's pop that on the screen one last time. So this is a Boland's Super Sprint, I think he said it was, with the rainbow colors. Cool deal. Yeah, because I was not sure what that was. There was nothing on there that jumped out at me as, oh, that must be such and such a brand. There was nothing there that was jumping out at me.
It is factory colors.
How about that? Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's cool. It's amazing that within a couple of seconds you could have that information.
Oh, for sure. This is so fun. I love this. So Matthew Vincent Bremen says, I'd love a Boland Super Sprint. Cool deal.
I have to find out who makes them.
Yeah. Well, cool. So we are on item number 5. Now we've got our good friend Mike Mahar out in Minnesota does the Central Minnesota Pond Racing Series, the race series. And he works with the Ice Oval Productions. They do the production side of it. And we've got a quick video from them from the Gray Eagle event that happened this past weekend on the 18th. Let me find my place here. I'm sorry, I've got so much stuff loaded here that it takes me a minute to find my place, which is a nice problem to have. I like having so much to talk about and to look at. But here's that footage.
Morning, as soon as you hear the first sled fire up, you just get, your adrenaline starts going because the pipes start cracking and you just know what's about to happen for the rest of the day.
The thrills and the spills from Gray Eagle.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything catch your eye there?
Oh God, just hearing those sleds going around that ice track was just awesome.
For sure. Yeah, they caught some good wipeouts there too.
Yeah. Some good video right there.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
I can remember when I grew up in Lancaster watching the races when they turned it to ice above the fairgrounds, watching, you know, people breaking their spindles off and just going like that Arctic Cat did right straight through the corner, you know. It was amazing how many of those did break back then.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a vulnerable part of a sled, I think, back in the day.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I did the vintage. I did racing from 1979 till 84. Had a lot of crashes.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Traveled all over Ontario, and every weekend there was an event. All the fairs had events going on.
Yeah.
There was an A circuit, a B circuit, and a C circuit. So there's lots of events going on, and we could run 2 or 3 classes with one machine. So we'd go with 4 machines and run almost every class at the event in a B class circuit.
Yep. A lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then you show up at the A class circuit, and all the big guys were there. And you might as well not have showed up, even though you did real well the week before.
Sure. Oh, and I need to mention too, a shout out to Ice Oval Productions. They're the ones that put together that segment. And really impressive work. And they've got an awesome Facebook page. There's a link to it in the description. And one other thing, if you enjoyed that footage from Gray Eagle, Mike Mahar sent me the footage, 6 hours of footage from that race weekend. Now I've got a time limit as to how much I can put on here of 2 hours, but I broke it down just today even into 3 2-hour segments. And every Sunday night, the next 3 Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be running those segments. So part 1 this Sunday and part 2, part 3, you know, each successive Sunday. So if you were intrigued by that, be sure and tune in Sunday night, wherever you're viewing this now.
And they have some great classes. Like they have a class for 6-year-olds.
They do, yeah.
They have 12-year-olds racing modified machines too. And then there's a class for over 55-year-olds.
Yeah, it's amazing. They try to keep it reasonably priced for the racers as well.
Yep.
Yeah, they do a great job with that. Let's see, where else? Okay, so we're on item number 6. And I apologize. I'm so scattered tonight. There's so many images and so many things to talk about, so many things to remember that my mind is just kind of spinning here. But we're on item number 6. This is some footage from a couple of weekends ago at the Newport Center, Vermont Vintage Snowmobile Show. This was on February the 11th. I was there and I got some footage. Let's take a look. And we're actually going to meet, Ray and I have a mutual friend, Mark Bristol. Had a chance to spend some time with him. If you like what you see there, he owns a powder coating company in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. If you like what you see there, he's very much into vintage snowmobiles. And if you need to have vintage snowmobile parts powder coated, he's the guy to send that stuff to. They powder coat other things too. But as you'll see, he's a serious vintage snowmobile guy, heck of a nice guy. And if you're thinking about powder coating, he's the guy to think about.
It's a good start with their tradition of putting on a vintage snowmobile show every winter. Hopefully they'll just keep doing this year after year after year. And if they do, I'll be around. I'll tell you that. They got food and so forth going over there, and some of the food and a trailer and like that have been donated by local businesses. In a minute, I'll take a look at some of the prizes they'll be giving away. But let's see if we can find someone to interview. Got a Ski-Doo coming in. But I know there's a few people here that I wanted to catch for an interview. Got some nice modern sleds over here too, by the way. But, where are they? Oh, here we go. All right, we're going to try to catch up with Mark Bristol here. Yeah, we've got Lucas and Mark Bristol over here. Yeah, I think they're trying to get away. Hey, is this a good time for an interview? To talk up some of the sleds you guys brought?
He'll do it. He's an interviewer.
Flip a coin.
He is. He's the good one. Not much of a public speaker.
No?
He is. He's a better public speaker.
Cool. This is father and son, by the way, Mark Bristol and Lucas Bristol. Cool, and they've got some beautiful sleds here today.
Want to talk about the presidential?
Yeah, let's go in on that one. Definitely, there's a great story on this. He was telling me about this earlier, and yeah, you're going to like this story.
So what they did for this model, this presidential model, they built them in '74 as a trial to see how they liked them. And only members of the presidential council got them. I think there's like 100. They're all 440s. And they had the red trim on them. So they made these to get feedback on the 75-year model. And it came back that they didn't like the red. And they didn't think there was enough decals on them. So now you'll see the 75s have blue and black decals. There's no red at all.
I'm going to get a shadow on it. Oh, still am. There we go. Now, if we go back a little, the Presidential Council you're talking about, is that part of the organization at Snowjet that you're talking about? Okay. Yeah.
Snowjet. Yeah.
Well, yes, continue. Yeah, continue with the story.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, they're free air, full 40s. Nobody really knows how many was made, but I'm hearing like 166. I don't know.
That is very cool.
Yeah, so the red, you won't see them very often, the red.
Yeah, that's pretty rare to see. Very cool. Very cool. And then over here, we've got that sled that was raced by Steve Fenoff. Do you feel like talking that up?
Luke knows more about that one than I do. I do know it one.
You don't want to come in?
No.
No? Okay.
Oh, there he is. That's something he knows more than I do. But Steve Fenoff raced it.
Yeah. Let's go in a little closer.
I think he actually won the Kilkenny Cup with it.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's about all I know, but it run numerous races. We actually reunited. He reunited Steve in the sled here a year or so ago. Steve came over and brought his mechanic, and they verified that it was the one race by some welding that was done on inside the chain case. So that's how they identified it.
Wow, that must have been a moment when they pulled the chain case open and saw that weld.
I wasn't there, but I'm sure it was.
Yeah, that must have been something.
That's just how it was raced. There's nothing been done to it.
Just like you see it. That's amazing. And let's see what the plaque says. This is Steve Fenoff's race sled when he drove for Calkins Cat. He raced in the USSA division in '71, winning numerous races throughout the East. Yeah, he's a legendary racer for sure. And he was inducted into the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, I think 2021, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's where they reunited Steve and the sled.
Yes, in front of Cranes. Yeah.
Crane.
Yeah, there's an image of that. In fact, I'll pop that on the screen when I edit this.
Yeah, I think there's a picture of the Kilkenny Cup with it as well.
Sweet.
But yeah, there's a lot of history there.
Yeah, there's some serious history sitting there, for sure. And then a little further down the line, you've got a Puma, right?
Oh, yeah. That one's a 71 Arctic Cat Puma Z, 292. And it's twin carbs.
Come a little closer for good audio. Come a little closer for good audio.
It's got dual carbs, 234 millimeter, crossover stinger pipes. It actually looks like a regular Puma until you open the hood. It's just different.
Wow.
And they made 96 of them.
96.
96 total.
Real limited edition.
Yep.
Are we able to open the hood, or is that something that's...
And the only thing you'll find C on this, on the name tag, on the plate. That's the only place.
Interesting.
So I think they were kind of trying to hide it a little bit.
Sure. The expression is the greater part of valor. Is that... Try to come around this side here. Sweet. So what are we looking at here?
So you got dual carbs there.
Yep.
Crossover pipes, stinger pipes. So it was actually made for racing.
Has it seen combat on the track? Or?
Not with me.
Not with you?
Nope.
And how long have you had it?
I probably had it 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Sweet.
I actually found it in Maine.
Maine.
Yeah.
Nice.
It actually sounds really good too.
Sweet.
See if it starts.
Yeah. Let me back up a little. Give you some room here. Sure. That's all right. Oh, we're getting closer. Yeah, that's got an amazing sound to it, doesn't it? Gotta love that. Yeah, that's very cool, man. Very, very cool. Well, cool. Anything else we can think of to say about it? Or?
I think that's about it.
Yeah. Well, cool. I appreciate it, Mark.
Yeah, no problem. Nice talking to you.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. Mark Bristol owns Performance Powder Coating. Do you feel like doing a shameless plug for your business?
Sure. We're in the Fairbanks Scale Building in St. Johnsbury. We powder coat a lot of snowmobile parts too. I do a lot for my buddy Ray, who's sleds are right next to me. But yeah, we can do anything, any color. Yeah.
Nice. Do you want to show some of the parts on here that have been powder coated, just to give people a sense of what can be done?
I don't know if I've done any on it. I haven't done any on that.
Yeah, because this is fairly new to him.
Done the skis on this one.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
This one's Ray just got this, so we haven't done enough of that.
Sure. Now, on your other sleds that are here, are there examples of things you powder coated?
There isn't.
Okay.
But I brought my drifter. I've done a lot on that one.
Yes.
But no, not really on that either.
Sure.
Because Luke's is unrestored.
Okay.
The snow jet's unrestored.
Sure. What are some of the common parts that a snowmobiler will send to you for powder coating?
Handlebars, skis, a lot of skis, grab rail on the back, and things like that. Belt guards.
Sure.
That type of stuff.
And what is their intention with that? To give a protective coating, or the appearance of it, or both? Or both? Yeah.
And it is better than paint, more durable. It's baked on. It's a baked on finish.
Sure. Much more durable.
Yeah.
It withstand more abuse.
Right. Right.
And it's a nice finished appearance too. A real smooth look.
It can be any color too, as well. Many colors, candy colors. We can match about anything.
Nice.
Race car chassis, we do a lot of them.
Sure. And for people who may not be here in Newport, we're thinking maybe to ship something. People ship things to you and you ship them back,
sure.
powder coated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
And it's Performance Powder Coating, St. Johnsbury, Vermont. Is there a good phone number in case someone wants to call you?
802-535-5096.
Wonderful.
We have Facebook and a website also.
So just look for Performance Powder Coating,
Right.
St. J. Vermont, St. Johnsbury, Vermont.
Yeah. If you go to our Facebook page, you can actually go on there and fill out a form electronically, what you got, what you want done to it, and just send it to us.
And you can get back to him with a quote.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that, Mark.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you're viewing, Mark's a good friend of mine. He's a vintage snowmobile lover. And if you like vintage snowmobiles, he's the guy to send your parts to.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
For sure. And if you do, tell him you saw him on the podcast, on the Vintage
that would
Snowmobile
be great.
Podcast. Be sure to mention that. Cool deal.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Sure. So we got like a Everest coming in? No, it's Blizzard maybe. Yeah, I think it's a Blizzard. But the front end looks a little like an Everest too. I don't know.
One or the other.
Yeah. Cool deal. Well, cool. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can catch up with Reggie Field. He's right over there. I'm going to see if I can narrow him away from. Well, cool.
Yeah, get him.
Yes. Well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
Cool. Yeah. And I think Ray knows Mark as well.
I know Mark very well. I've known him for a long, long time.
Nice. Yeah, he was a great guy. And I wanted to make sure and give him a shameless plug for his business because he's a great guy and he does great work with the powder coating, and want to be sure and give him some exposure with the podcast.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be at the Vintage Ride a week from Saturday too.
Good. Yeah, he mentioned he's thinking about going.
Yeah.
Nice. So if you saw that and you like what you saw and you want to send something to Mark for powder coating, be sure and mention that you saw him on the podcast. Cool deal. Now we've got comments coming in. Oh, before we get to comments, Rob, did you have any comments on what we were just looking at there? Or?
Oh, I like it when that race machine, when they got the history about it. I like that when somebody knows the history about that snowmobile.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Makes it more special.
Definitely. And did you have any comments, Ray, on anything you saw in there? Or?
No, just one. Mark looked like it was in about 30 below zero, and then there was a guy walked by him in a T-shirt.
Yeah, that was strange. I was doing some double takes on that guy too. It's like T-shirt.
It's like, is this the same event?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
it was cool. I saw quite a few of those sleds at our vintage show last September, so it was pretty cool.
Ray
Ray Parento. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he's got an amazing collection.
He does, has a great collection. And I mean, just he's real meticulous with his stuff. Beautiful stuff.
For sure. He likes them to really pop, to really look nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got comments here. Someone on Facebook is saying, great video. Thank you so much. Reese Fleury says, what a great video. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much. And I apologize that it was a little blurry. Sometimes when I go live, if I don't have a really good signal, the image quality will be a little bit blurry. And David from Alaska Railroad says, that's wild. Let's see. Mark Sperendio, working on some vintage stuff in the garage and listening to the show. Thanks for some good listening and viewing. Well, thank you for listening and viewing. We appreciate that, Mark. Nice to have you on here.
Send us a picture. What are you working on?
Absolutely. Pictures and video. We'd love to see that for sure. And then Reese Fleury says, good evening to Mark Fiddler. And Mark Fiddler says, good evening to Reese Fleury. Cool deal. And is that Yukon Cornelius he's got as a profile picture? I think it is. I love it. I wonder if he's got a pickaxe. But I'm gonna deviate here on a little tangent. That pickaxe, if you remember that Rudolph Christmas special where Yukon Cornelius throws that pickaxe up and then he licks it to see if there's gold or silver on it. Whenever I check the dip at work, we've got these vans, and we have to check the oil every day. Whenever I pull that dipstick out, I'm tempted to lick it and nothing, and put it back in like Yukon Cornelius would, But, I don't know. It'd get me real sick, I'm sure, if I tried that. But anyway, thank you, Mark Fiddler, for making me think of that. But all right, where are we here? So we've got a couple more videos. Now we're getting back to the Pittsburg, New Hampshire show. This is an event that Ray puts on. He doesn't just do a winter show. He also does a September show, an autumn show. So we're going to take a look at some footage from last autumn. I think this is a image montage. So some still image montage. And I believe Ray himself took these pictures. I'm going to pause it here. This Kawasaki, that's the one Mark Bristol was talking about. Just about everything that can be powder coated on that is. Just because he was talking about that sled.
That is Mark's sled, and that's the Puma.
Nice. Oh, and before that TX, was that yours, Ray?
That was my TX.
Nice. And then that Rupp Rebel at the beginning was Ray Parento's. But anyway, I digress. I'm sorry to pause the video, but I couldn't help myself. Yeah, clearly a good time was had by all.
That was a good time. That was the first event. We're looking forward to doing it again this September.
Nice, nice. Do you have a date picked at this point, or?
It's, I don't have the calendar in front of me. I know it's the third Saturday in September. I think it might be the 17th. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the third Saturday in September that it's going to be this year.
16th. Yeah, the
16th. Okay. Yep.
Nice. That's up in Pittsburg, New Hampshire.
Yep.
Cool deal. Any thoughts on anything we were looking at, Rob? Or?
That rep is that a factory racer? Or is that a custom made?
That's custom. Yeah. That Rupp Rebel.
Yeah, I've never seen one of those before. Yeah.
That is wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an impressive sled. Yeah. Well, cool. So we've got one more video to play, but we are at the top of the hour, and I have to confess, here at the world headquarters of the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, the world headquarters is actually an upstairs bedroom. So that means that at 10 o'clock, people start coming up for bed. So I have to wind down the podcast. But we do have one more video to show. So I think what we're going to do is maybe say our goodbyes, play the video, and then just have that ride the program out. But this is some footage from last year's event in Pittsburg, New Hampshire. In March, they had it. Do you want to talk this up a little, Ray, before we play it, to give another shameless plug for this event before we take a look?
Yeah, again, I mean, it's a week from Saturday, March 4th. Everybody's welcome. We're going to see a lot of vintage sleds there. If you come and you want to ride it with a new sled, you can ride it. We're not turning anybody away. We have a 1973 Motorski Capri that we're raffling off. You could call me. I think Mike had the picture with my phone number on it. There's the machine right there. It's in pretty good shape. It runs good. Looking forward to seeing the person that wins it this year. The last year we gave away an old Skidoo, and I had people call me 2 hours later. His wife called me and said he's still out riding that thing. So I mean, to see the smile on his face when he picked it up, and I guess he just didn't, like a kid with a new toy. He did not want to put it down. So
wonderful.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it again, Mike.
Nice. And then here's the graphic for that event. And Ray's number there is on the bottom. So if you have any questions about any of this, give him a call. And we've got a few more comments coming in. And I also want to hear from Rob here, too, before we close out the program. But let me find my place here. Mark Sperandio says, working on an Ariens Aero 350S. And that's Mark that was in his shop while he's listening to the podcast. Cool deal. Yeah, we would love, Mark, to see some images or video of that at some point. If you decide to do that, be sure and keep your camera horizontal like this for a wide shot. It's very difficult for me to edit vertical footage. David from Alaska Railroad says, have to admit that TX and Rupp gave him the chills for sure. Especially that Rupp Rebel. That is a looker. That is eye candy all the way. Especially in person. It looks even better in person. I mean, photos, it looks amazing, but seeing that in person, it takes your breath away. Dominic Anthony Kane says he has a 72 Kitty Cat for sale. Runs, spare chassis, spare motor. I can send images and videos if anyone is interested. Contact me in Messenger. $1,000. So yeah,
I think that's the first year they came out with a Kitty Cat. I think.
I believe it is. Yes. Yep. So if anyone's curious about that, just search on Facebook for Dominic Anthony Kane and send him a message about that. Also, my good friend John Spranger Jr. says another great show. Thank you so much. And Reese Fleury, our mutual friend, says always looking for Snow Chief snowmobiles, parts, and memorabilia. So if anyone has anything like that, search for Reese Fleury on Facebook and send him a message. And any final thoughts, Rob, before you close it out? Or?
Oh, great show and a great selection of snowmobiles from all the different shows. Yeah. It's nice to find snowmobiles you've never seen before. So this is the place to find them.
Yeah, this is the place for sure. Yeah, and so before we roll that video, I wanted to thank Ray and Rob so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Oh, we've got one more comment coming in. We'll take that real quick. David from Alaska Railroad says, good show. Thank you so much. And we also want to thank the viewers. These are the people who make this possible. Them coming here week after week and month after month makes this podcast possible. It puts the wind in the sails because we wouldn't keep doing this if people weren't watching it. Reese Fleury says, great show. Thank you so much. And he corrected his typo. Cool deal. So let me find my place here. We're going to roll this last video. And as we said, we're saying our goodbyes now, and we're going to roll the video and then the Amsoil video after that. But here's some footage from Ray's event of last March. He's having another event similar to it next weekend, the 4th. Be sure and come on by.
Yeah. You want to get them? All right. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as they sell, we're going to call the winner. Raise weight so you can take it home.
That's a 120. The one behind is the knee.
Okay, give me a thumbs up.
Right.
Oh, actually, hold on.
Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today we're going to be talking about AMSOIL, and in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your AMSOIL products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what AMSOIL is and why you should consider using AMSOIL products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. AMSOIL is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses AMSOIL for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that AMSOIL is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because AMSOIL doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And AMSOIL likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of AMSOIL is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction and drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, AMSOIL says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the AMSOIL bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the AMSOIL. AMSOIL's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero. Wow. If you ever tried petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So AMSOIL is an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running AMSOIL than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And AMSOIL is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that AMSOIL has available.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the AMSOIL experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And yeah, by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
AMSOIL has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, AMSOIL will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer, you save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. AMSOIL sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value. And this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering AMSOIL. Is that correct?
It is.
Wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an AMSOIL order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the Preferred Customer Program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to the product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've join the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click add to cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click view cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order that gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the signature series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click checkout now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an AMSOIL account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to AMSOIL. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for AMSOIL under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your AMSOIL preferred customer program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters free DVD requests, so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering AMSOIL as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from AMSOIL, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from AMSOIL. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the AMSOIL marketing plan. AMSOIL has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing, or hot rods. We have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business that's I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure. So when you sign up under that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing AMSOIL for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with AMSOIL. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate AMSOIL leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes. And just by wearing my AMSOIL hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about AMSOIL. People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product. Perfect.
Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
AMSOIL's a fun business. AMSOIL's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the AMSOIL products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the AMSOIL products or to join the AMSOIL team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.